it's definitely going to have a lot to say in Champ Select here. Graves once again banned by Envy, Dignitas banning Talon. I expect a lot of these bans to stay the same. There's Rengar for Envy. I'm sure Jace is coming out. But I wonder if maybe the third bans, especially for Dignitas, are going to have any changes here. Caitlyn sticks out to me as such an easy champion to take away here.
Well, it's either you leave up Rumble or Camille, and they're going to ban Camille. Oh, okay, so last time Envy was on blue side, they banned Renekton. So it's like, hey, he doesn't want to pick this. He wants to first pick Rumble if you leave it up.
Well, Dignitas, I think this is a very important ban. They do ban the Rumble again, but I mean, they could go with a lot of different things here. I don't think they need to first pick the Caitlyn, but oh wow, they're actually going to do it.
Wow. So they picked the Caitlyn over the Lulu. They say, we don't even need it. They didn't need it. They paired it with Karma and it did well, and that was huge. Yeah, I was expecting maybe a Caitlyn ban instead of the Rumble, but I like the Camille ban because if you take the Rumble, they will take Camille if you ban Caitlyn. So that's actually really interesting.
And Dignitas like, yeah, we're going to take the Lulu here.
And
but yeah, now they're going to pick an ADC. They go, okay, no more Jhin for me. I'm going to go to Varus.
Yeah, no more Ezreal Varus bans. They pick it early, so the junglers still on the table with 2 banned away. The Lee Sin is what Chaser had been picking up and playing, but it seems like Elise and Lee Sin are both pretty comfortable champions for these two guys.
Well, Envy are going to probably have to blind pick a jungler here. I imagine they take Karma, and then they probably want a jungler here just to make sure LirA's pool doesn't get pinched. There's the Karma we expected. So Envy going to run the lane back for the 3rd straight game. We'll see what Envy here have for their last pick in this first phase.
Lee Sin, Elise, both good champions. LirA, player of the game in the previous one. They're going to take the Lee Sin to try and pinch that champion pool just a little bit more.
Well, certainly both these junglers have looked good on it, so LirA going to take it away from Chaser, but give it to himself also. Just wonder what Dignitas want to do here for the next pick. They kind of go into this next ban phase knowing that one of our lanes is going to get targeted. They have some control here about what lane that's going to be based on what they pick. They decide we don't want junglers banned away, so I think Keane's going to get targeted as a result. But it looks like they are going to take Elise here and give that one over to Chaser.
Yeah, Dignitas now actually get to target the top lane if they would like, and pick their top laner, and then counter pick mid into Ninja. I assume that's what they would go with here if you pinch Seraph's pool a little bit more. He does have a strange pool of champions.
Certainly does. There's a lot open here though. Dignitas, 10 seconds left for this first ban in phase 2, excuse me. And we've seen a lot of Ahri bans from Dignitas this series. Yeah, Shen's a consideration for them, and that's the first ban for Dig.
Yeah, ban the Shen away, or if you wanted to pick the Shen, you ban something like GP. There's the Renekton in response, so top lane bans, top lane pool, getting worked here. The Ahri is what is kind of left up, like you said.
Yeah, pool shrinking really. 4 total top lane bans between phase 1 and phase 2. Dignitas, only 1 ban left here. They will get first pick out of the phase, so a lot to consider here for both teams. It's actually been a really good set of champ select between these two teams.
If you really don't like Ahri, you ban the Ahri here. Otherwise, you ban something that Seraph plays, like the Kennen.
Yep, top lane Kennen. Have seen from Seraph quite a number of times. The Dignitas going to continue to pick on him there. I'll probably give Ssumday counter pick as well, I have to think. Although I guess you have 2 good options for your solo laners.
I feel like if you're so afraid of the Ahri, you'd pick your top laner here for Ssumday, and then, or you pick something pretty neutral and benign mid, like an Orianna, or even Victor. But I think you save it for Keane. Maybe even go with Echo again and flex it.
Yeah, that's true actually. Lots of options here. Gonna take the top lane tank though. Ssumday gonna pick up Nautilus. Played a lot of that recently. So we'll see what Envy want to do to close out this draft. Ahri's open if they want it. It's seen a lot of teams blind pick it. I know I've talked to a lot of different mid laners and they don't think Ahri's that good as a diverse pick, but gonna be taken here for Envy. I don't think there's too much that can go wrong here. And it was banned away from Ninja twice, and there's Maokai actually for Seraph. So I'm gonna go into a tank v tank battle here. So that's cute from Xpecial. Seen a bit of Mundo pop up here and there internationally. But no Mundo this time. Xpecial, having fun with it.
I think it's Vladimir for Keane. Oh, would he do that to lock up the Ahri? Ah, okay.
This makes sense.
Yeah, a different way to lock her up and a lot of damage that he could bring to the table. I like that with the front line more than if he had gone with something like I had said earlier. Well, I like this. Consistent DPS, they have the front line, and it's also something that stops the Caitlyn from getting away sometimes.
I think it's also a pick that Keane can play a bit more proactively on. His Azir was very proactive in game number 1, and his Victor, I mean, Victor's kind of just has to chill out and let things happen around him, especially with the Rylai's nerfs. doesn't really buy the item anymore. So I think Keane, this is kind of a middle ground champion for him, but Cassiopeia should enable him to have some really strong team fight performances, and that's always been the biggest difference for me. Can Keane affect some of the early game and the team fights, and does he have a good team fighting mid laner? Because he's shown up on Vladimir, Cassio, Victor, Orianna, Azir. Like, he has so many different picks that he's happy to play. And yes, he's also played Assassins well in addition to that, but I just think that right now with the way Dig are playing, Ssumday's playing a lot of tanks and a lot of enablers. Chaser is always going to be an aggressive jungler. So it does kind of fall into Keane to do a lot of the heavy lifting, both in proactive plays and in making sure that he's got enough damage to carry through team fights.
Yeah, and that's the issue is Chaser didn't get to really go towards mid in the last game. He had to keep going bottom over and over again, and LirA was there. So if LirA's camping for the bottom side, that'll shove in. It's going to be really good for Envy. So what's Dignitas' answer? Do they let that happen? Are they a little bit faster on pulling the trigger and get their Trident down? Because that's what frees up Keane.
I mean, let's be clear. Step one is absolutely make sure the bottom lane doesn't fall too far behind. So I guess we'll have to find out what happens in just a second. Game 3 between Envy and Dig coming right up. Let's get ourselves onto Summoner's Rift. Oh, Envy would deliver such a blow to Dignitas if they were to win here. And also keep their dreams alive. I mean, playoffs, very far removed, but getting out of relegation is still a possibility here. I
feel like the biggest win for Envy, if they do beat Dignitas, is that Ninja and Seraph beat their old lane buddy. So you even heard it in the break, right before the break, where the call was, no, go after, kill Jhin, kill Lod, go kill Jhin. The game is yours, go kill Jhin. It's like, all right. So Hakuho, Ninja, and Seraph all used to be on the same team in Envy with Lod, and I feel like there's a little bit of a grudge there. Lod even like called Seraph out, so kind of wants to get him back. That would be the biggest victory. That would be the sweetest for Envy if they could keep Dignitas out of the playoffs or bring them down to a worse position.
Big boost to morale of the team as well. I think Envy are a team that just seems like they need just a little bit more confidence in their gameplay, right? They've almost always got a good idea. They are good at getting early leads, but we consistently see them stumble in the late game. And I think a lot of that isn't just, you know, they don't know how to. It's like, hey, we're not confident in doing it.
Yeah, this setup, just jumping back into the game, they see that those are going down, but right here, they're actually hiding in the bush. So Envy...
I mean, surely Xpecial is going to check this.
Yeah. Well, he wants to walk up.
Oh, he checked nothing. Oh, eats the... big end of the queue.
VOD!
Does steal a couple with an arrow.
That's good. That's good. That means he's actually going to hit level 2 a little bit sooner in the lane. And LirA, I don't even think he'll hit 2 off that.
Yep. Doesn't hit 2. Still level 1. Lod stole away enough experience. I mean, Hakuho is going to poke him down. Ward over the back actually is a lot of pokes going to come out. Lod's going to lose his right to the wave first. So level 2 should still be hit early, I think, by Apollo and Hakuho if they can zone them off these creeps. But Lod arrows him down. Looks like he's going to make it. Good shield from Xpecial. Protects Lod from the headshot. And we'll see how much this delays LirA, because any early jungle advantage between these two could really impact the early portion of the game.
Yeah, it means he has to use both of his potions early. He has to use his smite early. And so he'll be pretty weak, but he will end up getting about the same timing in his jungle route.
So a lot of trades back and forth. Hakuho is nailing Lod with every single Q. I mean, Lod again, he's a couple more creeps, but there's the level 2 from Envy.
Yeah, Lod just needs one more, I believe, but he's getting shoved off by Hakuho on this Karma, who's doing a great job of lane harassing.
Again, all the early pressure. All those bloodlust proc onto Lod. He's Chaser down level 3.
Yep. Went over the wall. I don't think he got spot. Oh, no, he didn't go over the wall. Sorry. The plant is still there. Don't think he was spotted, but he said, all right, there's not enough time. Could be a race down here.
Good bit of pressure here from Keane in mid lane, though, as we transfer over. CS lead starting to build for the Cassio. Ninja just wanting to play safe here. Keane trying to play off the wave, not get himself queued if Ninja is going for the minions. And a big wave building here for Cassio. I mean, we've seen Keane consistently play lanes very well. See how he does here in this counter pick for himself. Ninja's just chilling out, which is kind of what you have to do.
Yeah, I like how they both took cleanse as well.
Yep.
No Ghost here for the Cassiopeia. Has the Storm Raider Surge to kind of do that instead. A lot of them will circumvent that by taking that movement speed mastery. And then Ninja, on the other hand, cleanse for himself for Petrifying Gaze, also getting caught up by Elise.
Yep. Lod's ulti as well.
Yeah, it's really interesting that...
Apparently it worked on Fallen.
Yeah. No, it's just really interesting that the Cassiopeia would opt into that. There's nothing like an Ashe arrow or anything. He's just kind of worried about, guess, the Maokai and the Charm. So,
it's hard to win an all-in as well if you don't have cleanse versus Cassio. So we'll see.
It's funny because they don't have things to cleanse like Ignite or Exhaust from the other person and get rid of those summoner spells. They just both have it.
Chilling out, want to play safe. Keane continuing to pressure up. Ninja is keeping the CS respectable. But again, Keane certainly got the initiative here in the matchup. Ooh, good charm. Miasma was nice from Keane, but Ninja charms him to not set up any follow-up damage. And Ahri out of mana, so Ninja going to have to go back here. Keane staying nice and healthy thanks to Cassio's Twin Fang mechanic, and LirA is going to steal away the Raptor camp as a result. Well, that's his own Raptor camp. I'm really bad at colors today.
That's okay. He was on the other side of the map.
He tricked me!
This is where he started. Goes back to the scene of the crime. But Keane had shoved up far enough to get a ward in there. And so they know how healthy he is. The Elise also on this side, so Keane's going to run in.
Ooh, good charm.
Nope. Decides not to cleanse it.
Summoners, yeah, his chaser. Tag in. Oh, he got caught! Gets himself out from under it, almost kills Keane. LirA forced to burn the flash. That was a fancy looking play. Yeah,
that was super quick. I'm surprised Keane, didn't blow the cleanse, but he was just not giving a hard enough tell and just making sure that, they walk a little too far forward. Almost got burst down there. That was a little bit scary for Keane.
Well, Keane actually does stay in the lane. Ninja forced to go back, so LirA able to hold that wave and let Ninja go back here. But Keane's going to be up a decent amount of CS. Should be able to go back with a healthy buy after this wave.
Yeah, 12 already.
We're going to reset things here. Lost Chapter now for Ninja. Got a refillable also, but no control ward, so it's going to be a little harder to protect himself. There's the tier for Keane. And an All-Magic Mantle plus a couple more consumables. Keane feeling pretty healthy in the lane. Should be able to stack that mana up.
Next blue buff isn't for a while either. And, Cassiopeia, not too much worse for wear. Whenever she has to all in. Hold on.
Ssumday forcing a flash. Nice stuff.
Yeah.
Ssumday does this a lot on Nautilus, I've noticed. He's like really good at pressuring other tanks.
Yeah, and especially since just the matchup is so good now. This is actually LirA coming in for a gank onto Ssumday, who got under turret. He's taking shots.
Oh, a little too much perhaps, but Elise is right behind Ssumday. Kicking, Q lands in. LirA with the first blow, but now Ninja getting chased down by Keane. Keane flashes forward and takes down Ninja.
Got him after returning back to lane. Just a little bit more in terms of items. That was a pushing advantage there for Ninjas. All those minions you can see. Keane just taking the damage and bursting him another solo kill.
Still had his ulti as well, so Keane just punishing Ninja for a misstep there, I have to imagine. Nice play from LirA, but good play as well from Keane.
Yeah, just confidence there. As soon as he saw LirA topside, he knows that he can all in. Keane decides to go for it, ends up with another solo kill. The Cassiopeia, just ridiculous amounts of damage. We'll see it here. He's losing the shove, and now level 6 comes out for Ninja. He tries to turn it around. Now he's on top of the Miasma again. He can't do another. There, waits for it. Charm missed, and just enough twin fangs and landing the poison too.
That giant wave, you said it. I mean, if Keane had been in the wrong spot, he would have died to minions easily.
Yeah, it's also big that he kept going back on the Miasma because it gives the twin fang poison the extra damage.
Well, Ninja, I think a bit of a miscalculation, but well played by Keane in a tough situation to get himself the solo kill. Now up in CS, approaching 20 at 15 right now as Ninja returns to the lane.
And this seems like a much better lane for LOD and Xpecial. But LirA's here.
I was going to say, about to get a little worse, depending on how Dignitas can play around EnVyUs jungler.
Kick back up for LirA. No flash, though.
And LirA, I think, just having a recall here. Dignitas not taking the bait. Like we're going to walk up. Again, just get some poke down, but LirA's already back off to base.
Yeah, it's about timing.
Ooh, nice ult from LOD. Apollo going to get ignited. That's an easy kill. Hakuho got chained up as well on the other side, so LOD going to try and shoot him down. Hakuho does have his summoner, so he'll be safe, but Dignitas just snipe Apollo.
Yeah, LOD, so much damage coming through there. Was able to get the ultimate off, gives some extra blight stacks, and then just pops them. No heal either.
Nice stuff there. Apollo just dying a little too quickly.
Oh my god, it's down to the bottom lane now. Dig is doing what EnVy were doing, and they might get their first turret of the series.
We'll see what happens here. Damage is good from Chaser with the Elise. Red buff was helping out as well, but LirA managed to clear out the wave. Apollo now going to come back with a healthy buy. Lod's going to have to get his buy-in sooner rather than later. We'll see if LirA can maybe cancel a recall and just buy a little bit more time as Keane returns to the mid lane. Nothing you could really do there in bottom. But Ninja able to get that wave pushing, and there's the recall cancelled. In fact, LirA might even go in for it.
Xpecial has to stop his back too, because it's like, I'll do it. Xpecial, if he leaves, that's 100% you're going in.
Well, now the blue buff actually could be in danger. No, just goes over to Keane in time. I like the presence of mind from EnVy to try and make a play there. But might even find Chaser sticking around.
Yep, I think they go now if they're going to go.
Yeah, Chaser's pretty aware of what's happening, so they're going to wait. Might be trying to catch someone coming down the lane.
Ooh, but Dignitas is tipped off on this. And they see that Chaser's standing there like, wait a second. Yeah. we know that you know that we know.
Now
Hold on.
Collapse on the Keane. Charm's going to miss. LirA, though, looking for the Q. Outplays the ulti, and LirA gets another kill.
That look back. Oh, that was awesome. The dip back from LirA. That was just a quick one. He's blind anyway, but that one, style points.
Real nice. LirA showing off on Elise as per usual. Ssumday again gets the ulti down onto Seraph. Oh, might be a uh-oh. Uh-oh. Not the solo kill you're looking for. Hook from Ssumday. Seraph gets out of the Riptide.
Yeah, the Riptide. Maybe would have done it there if 2 hits had landed. But yeah, the Maokai after being nerfed definitely makes Nautilus a much better person in this matchup. Much better side to be on. LirA, yeah, now he's just doing the thing where you see where the enemy jungler is, you know his mana, you know that you have advantage here. Just takes away the camps, gets himself a little bit of an EXP advantage.
Yeah, 2 kills he got. An early warrior now completed for LirA, and he's making good use of it. Keane caught in transition. A really smart collapse from EnVy.
Yeah, the fact that, ooh, that was so good. That was the Q, turn around, take the Q, and then get the kill. And that kill also does go over to LirA. Doesn't end up on Ninja, but he'll get the blue buff for it.
It's weird. I've seen enough players do that now, but I'm convinced in a lot of spots, players are actually reacting to Cassiopeia's ultimate.
Oh, it's kind of like...
It's really tight.
Yeah, it's interesting because I feel like it's covering options, where his option is to ulti right now, or else he's going to die to Ninja, so I'll look back and then I'll go in. I feel like that's kind of how you have to do it, is if I was the Cassiopeia player, when am I ultiing, right? Just standard, and you just outplay that.
I don't know, I just remember Dardock doing it like 2 or 3 times in a series. I'm like, is he really just guessing every time? That seems pretty sick to me. But
well, he's kind of in the other person's head saying if he doesn't Cassiopeia ulti here, he's screwed. Right?
That's true. You just create a situation that's not favorable to begin with.
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll test it out, Zirene. 1v1 me. Cassio, best my mouth. You'll probably win. Get that going later.
I don't know, man. I don't know. You play mid lane, so.
I do click a lot of buttons.
Yeah.
Not all correctly.
I'm about to out you as a dirty Yasuo one trick.
Oh, no.
If Pastry is your favorite caster, think again.
Good ult again. Hakuho knocked him with a wild growth. Little too much damage on the combo. Lod flashes forward for the kill. Double TP's coming in. Seraph is going to find his way down first. Lod absolutely left out to dry, and he's going to be the trade.
Yep. You know that he wanted to kill Lod there. Immediately jumps in on him. Maybe he could have locked somebody else up. Lod looked pretty dead to rights. What? Really wants that kill. It's the guaranteed. Picks it up himself, too.
Kind of what he gets for aggressively flashing to steal the other kills, so he's going to pay for it. Ssumday comes down, not able to get anything else done, and LirA takes his own red buff. Yep. Continuing to speed through the jungle.
Saw the ward afterwards. Yeah, didn't see it when he initially went through the bush, but we'll see it now. It'll be good.
Polo cancels Ssumday's recall.
Ssumday's just like, this happens a lot.
Just chilling out.
Yeah, and now there's at least Sin coming to the bottom side. Ssumday might be dead. Like, Apollo's acting like bait. He's like, look at me, I'm just a little itty-bitty Caitlyn.
I wonder if he's still there. Let's find out together. Oh, now Ssumday's caught out. Hakuho gonna face check. Ssumday's like, I'm going after Apollo, but he's got no help. Xpecial's here, but Paul's gonna flash out of the way. Ssumday pretty tanky though. Does snare down Hakuho with a W, but Ssumday taking too much. LirA goes back in for it, kicks him in. Flash from LirA's gonna cost him his life. No, he gets out of the way. Xpecial looks for the Q, but doesn't land it. Shutdown goes in. Cocoon from Chase is great. Charm lands in onto Lod though as Ninja's down first, but Keane also here is Xpecial taking up the turret. Good stun there into Ninja, but Ninja cleanses out of the way. Might not be enough as he barely gets out from under it, but Lod still firing away, takes out Apollo and Ninja. He wants to try and trade, but he's now got not a lot of health left.
About to have the Q.
Lod charging it up, looks for Ninja, doesn't quite land it, but this turret's gonna go down.
He's still hanging around. It's like, he's just actually baiting out some of those abilities. There's like, oh man. That's crazy. And now Seraph is just pushing mid turret in. I don't know if he's getting anything for that. Lod?
He lands.
This is why you don't stick around.
Very greedy from Ninja.
It's like, why? All right, anyway, Lod, 4-1-2. Just really fed now on this Varus. He's going for a crit build as well. You augment the build. This is Envy setting up a play here, but it's just been so long that Xpecial's on his way. LirA's on his way. Lod's on his way. They're all coming in. Ssumday flashes, pulls LirA a little bit further back. LirA almost gets out here. Hakuho doesn't really block the first hits there, and then just those last little bits, the red buff is what does it there. Xpecial picks that up, tanks, so that when Chaser comes back in, doesn't die. Chaser get flashes away, stays alive, and then great ulti there from Keane and Miasma, but then picks up, Lod gets the kill, and then they wait. That could have killed Ninja. Now they're waiting. Lod, ultimate, coming back up, and he's gonna throw it out here. And dodge the charm. Well played. It's like, why even risk that? And hold on, the Fed guy.
Lod growth again, still firing away. Apollo is going to get the kill, but he goes down to Lod. LirA now getting chased down, going to get repelled onto by Chaser for the kill. Envy loses 2 full and trade in bottom lane. It's chaos down here.
Yeah, that's 2 more for the Dignitas side. 4, 2, and 3 now for Lod, but now Chaser is picking up some of those kills. Xpecial 206, doing some pretty good work here. But that's that crit build coming in. Lod actually, I believe, got a crit off of just the Zeal for himself, which was big there to actually kill Apollo. And one of the changes that happened to the Varus in the preseason, and around a little bit towards like some AD carry changes, was he actually gets more bonus attack speed from his passive based on the amount of bonus attack speed he has. So attack speed builds were how people were originally building him. Then it was, okay, let's try some like Blade of the Ruined King, which has so much attack speed on it. Then I was like, okay, maybe that's not the greatest. But then the lethality builds came. He became the Legolas build again. So this is still like a very legitimate build on him, having critical strike chance, having bonus attack speed, and then the Runeant's Hurricane applying blight stacks to everybody. It just ends up being a little bit ridiculous. Not the same type of, uncounterable play. He has to put himself at risk with the 575 range.
Yes, he has to be a real AD carry and actually shoot you with his auto attacks, but certainly that playstyle was rewarded.
Yeah, it was part of the design shift for him, making it so that he was rewarded for this, but you'll see, gets the ultimate, now he turns onto Apollo, boop, boop, there's the crit for 225, and that's what ends up helping him get that kill there. Whereas if that was a normal hit, not the same.
I'll chase it down there as well. Dig, trade off in the 3v3. A lot of components. I mean, both Kim and Apollo should have pretty similar looking builds this game. See the early AD items with the BF sword and the pickaxe, and now building in towards their hurricanes. But Lod will beat Apollo to the punch, you have to think.
Yeah, being so fed, it's definitely going to help him out. So he's still maxing the Q, to be expected there, and then putting points into the E for some utility and movement speed slows. Just keeping 1 point in the W for that on-hit and blight stacks.
And it's funny to see how much attention both teams have started to pay towards the bottom lane as the series goes on. Envy kind of always did, as LirA spotted.
Wait a second.
He spotted LirA.
He's blue trinketing somewhere. He's like, hold on.
All right, he's going to make it to the blast cone. He'll be safe. See ya. LirA's out.
You can see they're checking everywhere on Dignitas side. He's like, where is he?
He's gone.
He's gone. Gave him the runaround.
Gonna give a little bit of time for Envy to pressure mid, but Keane's there, should be able to wave clear that down pretty simply. In fact, transfer of power over to top lane.
Hey, when you have a fed AD carry, you just put him in the lane that you want to knock the turret down in. Seems like it's mid lane for Envy, and for Dignitas, it's that top side.
Hakuho, good bit of damage there as well.
Yeah, Abyssal Scepter is gonna absorb a lot of that.
Smart early itemization there from Keane. Helps him a lot against Ninja, of course, which is the primary reason. Ninja actually in the side lane, though. He's going to take this turret, but it will be a trade. Dig on the top lane. Should be able to take that down. I don't know if Envy can stop the push through from Dignitas, though.
Yeah, it's really interesting because Envy always look better in 1-3-1s, but Dignitas, I actually think they have a little bit of a better setup here. Mid turret won't go down. This bottom turret will have 2 people on it, and there's a diveable situation here for Seraph, so he has to back up a lot.
The turret. Oh,
wait!
No, repels out. He's okay.
He's keeping those minions safe, but a little bit too safe.
Well, looks like another turret trade here. Yeah, Ninja should be able to get this. Interesting to see them just kind of trade turrets here, but I think Envy, knowing that, hey, this is gold we can get pretty easily.
Yeah, Ninja's going for the extra denial here on the minions.
Going to take the turret down, so 2 turrets apiece. Long lanes on opposite sides of the map now as a result. So it's going to be tricky to play the map. I feel like Ssumday's been very effective in these situations, seems to really understand the overall map and the push and pull of creep waves. So we'll kind of see how this plays out. But Dig, probably happy to get a bit of extra gold. Hakuho is so annoying.
Very annoying.
Consistently canceling recalls. To be fair, Keane probably shouldn't recall there if he wants to go back.
Probably not. I mean, him and Ssumday have both been caught like that a few times.
It's a trap. See, he's back on the wave.
Yep. I didn't really want it back anyway.
It was a ruse. Keane just going to shove this wave down, get pressure in towards the mid lane turret. And looks like Apollo is going to walk back there with Hakuho. Rune and Tarkane now finished. Lot actually finished Infinity Edge first.
Not awful because of the fact that he already has some crit chance to help it out, whereas Infinity Edge by itself, not really a good buy. You need some more critical strike chance behind it for it to be efficient in terms of how much gold you spend on it, because you don't get any extra stats from the combined cost. You just get the passive of extra critical strike damage, so you naturally need a little bit more crit for it to be worth it. And that's where the Zeal comes in. So it's not awful. The Runeans will be completed quite shortly. It's a very cheap item, 2,600 gold for Runeans.
Yep, Lod not too far away. Got the recurve bow in there, so should see pretty similar item timings there for these two AD carries. Be curious to see kind of how they diverge for their third items, but both of them still working on their farm here. Polly does have a nice farm lead, but Lod got a ton of kills and early assists, so gold lead's still an advantage for Lod, but it's not a huge lead here. And again, looks like Apollo's just happy to occupy mid lane, push down the waves, and continue to collect free farm. This is really the point of the game where Caitlyn does need to, you know, do some investing and really start to move towards 3-4 items or she gets incredibly strong.
Yeah. And having that 2-item spike when the second Drake comes up is pretty big, making sure that you can actually fight it. Whereas here, I think that the Drake fight, just from like a champion standpoint, would most likely go in the favor of Dignitas, also with the lead. But you know, if they can get control of the area, if Ninja can get a good flank, and Seraph can lock down Lod, sky's the limit.
Blue buff over. Ninja's doing a lot of side lane pressuring here.
Yeah, I honestly think Ninja looks best when he's not in mid lane. When he's on a side lane. When he plays something like the Talon, right? It's why it's being banned away from him, because he can go do those things where he's farming side waves and keeping pressure up, and then Seraph does the opposite side of the map. So when EnVy split 1-3-1, I actually really like the way they play the map. Ooh, nice.
Blue buff over to Ninja though. Lod not there with the snipe. But good attempt there. Oh, wrap around onto Apollo. Great flash from the Caitlyn. Tracer gets headshot, but that should be mid-turret here. Dignitas just brute force for it. Ninja not there in time, and that's turret over to Dignitas.
Hey, that's the type of push that I'm expecting from a team that is near the top of the standings. Dignitas were actually in the inverse position that EnVy were in last game. EnVy were in that position where they could have gone for a mid-turret like that, and they didn't. And they're the ones who had the Caitlyn. They didn't force it down ever, and it took them until like 30 minutes in the game to do so.
Well, bad news for EnVy is that Lod's now finished his 2 items, and there's 15 seconds left for this Mountain Drake. Apollo does not have enough gold for the IE, and he doesn't have time to buy it even if he did. So
yeah.
We'll have to see how they play around this objective.
He's got 1,200, and then he needs the crit cloak, which is 800, and then he also needs the combined cost, which is about, I believe it's 600-ish. So he's a bit far back on that. He only needs about like 300 more, 200 more, but he'd also need that back timer. So, but honestly, nobody's really set up for the Dragon Ball.
Yeah,
Drake is like, people are ignoring it.
Kind of weird to see Ninja drawing so much pressure. In fact, he's staying there just to make sure they can continue doing that. But yeah, red pings onto the Drake. I think Dignitas like, hey, probably want to take this.
Yeah, Keane is going to spend a decent amount of gold, buys himself an immediately large rod, and he's going to rush towards this area. Now that the Cassiopeia, I mean, you want this Mountain Drake on the Cassio. It means that Baron is just butter, and you can just cut right through it.
Well, again, Ninja going to stay and continue to pressure here.
Yeah.
It's like Apollo did actually find time to go back. He got Berserkers and the IE, so we'll make it in time for this fight barely unless Dignitas start up the Drake right now, which is what they're doing.
I feel like this is wrong from EnVy. They have Ninja in the top side, and he's just continuing to push. I like it when he's pushing. I don't like it when he's doing this, because this is a Mountain Drake going over to a Cassiopeia. They have the gold advantage, and you sometimes have to seed Drakes to get turrets and get gold across the map. So for that, I like it if that's the call that they're making on EnVy's side. But I decide to just give it up.
Yep. See kind of how it plays out. Only 2,000 gold behind now for EnVy, but Dig now with 2 Drakes to nothing. I think again, Caitlyn probably wants to invest a little bit more. Apollo's been heavily in the side waves.
Ooh. Keane is actually going for Seraph on the bottom side of the map.
Call for Baron though on the EnVy side.
Yeah, this is a call for Baron, I believe.
Seraph just buying time for his team. I think Dig might know about it, but Seraph again, if he can delay for a while, this is really nice for him. Keane needs to be there for the fight.
they're gonna have to like poke off with Varus or something. Like LirA's not super tanky. He takes a lot of damage from this Baron. This is gonna be a slow Baron here.
What poke from Varus is the other thing. I mean, Chaser can steal it is the other thing, but Ninja's over the top instantly. Wants to try and take down Lod.
Keep doing Baron.
Yeah, they're kind of taking it, but LirA's taking a little too much damage. Lod is actually attacking it over the wall. Seraph's gonna go down here, and Dignitas might sweep it all here. Baron's gonna reset health. EnVy back away from the pit.
They just don't have enough armor. They don't have a tank there. LirA, he has like a chain vest and that's it. And the Baron has so much attack damage. People forget about that. And it's all physical damage as well that he'll be doing with those autos. So the person tanking him is going to take a lot of damage unless he's a pure tank.
Well, I like the attempt there from EnVy, but Dignitas do the right thing. Threaten EnVy enough so that they can't convincingly do the Baron and pick up the kill onto Seraph. Seraph doesn't burn anything there. He's got his flash. He's got his teleport. So they can reset for a bit more pressure, but the kill maybe they didn't need to give away. EnVy playing a little fast and loose here in the mid-game. And again, I think just trying to get to the point where they're comfortable, where Caitlyn's got a lot of damage built up to 3, 4, even 5 items and really stocked up. And then they can try and find that team fight. Or maybe just continue sieging. But right now, being behind Dig, don't have too many options for pressure right now.
Yeah, I like the call from Dignitas, but it's such a risky one where Keane goes bottom and helps chase around a Maokai. That could have been a Baron, but it could have been a lost team fight as well, because you have 3 people on that side, and those three people are an Elise that's squishy. You also have an easy to catch out Varus with a Lulu that'll help a whole bunch. Like, don't get me wrong, but the fact it's Elise in and Ahri, and even like the rundown potential of a Karma that was in the pit, if EnVy deny vision well enough, then they can just take a fight instead.
Yeah, well, instead Ninja is just continuing to pressure the top lane. Really committed to pushing down these side waves. Ninja got a lot of gold for himself, but just occupying Dignitas' time for as long as he can. And that's going to be pushed through mid for EnVy. So actually weaving themselves around the map nicely here. Keane not going to make it in time to protect this, I don't think. Speeds up forward, Whimsy's there, and that's actually going to be enough to save the turret. But now Seraph's got pressure bottom lane. Dignitas still behind on the play.
Yep, it's a 1-3-1 with a little bit of a push and pull here. Chaser? Can't really get anything for that, but it'll be Ninja on the top side. Now has a CS advantage when he was in a deficit previously, and he's just going to keep pushing this out.
And yeah, Ninja got solo killed, so that lane did not start the way they wanted it to. Seraph are going to get ulted by Ssumday. He's not going to rotate down. And there's my Miasma locking up Seraph. Seraph's pretty tanky, but should die eventually. We'll see what EnVy are doing on the other side. Again, back towards the Baron. Good flash though from Seraph. Hook there from Ssumday as he flashes after him, and now Keane's just going to lock him down. Twin Fang Zed needs a little bit more poison. Seraph, he's got the ulti, but it's not enough to save him. Keane gets another kill.
Yeah, I don't even know if they've started looking at the Baron. They didn't have time to deny vision. Seraph is pushing too far forward. And I like that Dignitas are actually handling the 1-3-1 correctly. They're like, they can't do the Baron. There's no way they can do the Baron at this point in time. So I think it's a clever call that they're getting some kills off of on Seraph.
Now the Baron threat's actually here for Dignitas.
Yeah, because they have numbers advantage. Seraph with TP in. Oh, they spot Ninja.
Ninja actually burned the ult. He finds Keane actually for a good little pick, but the ultimate lands on for the Varus, and Keane's on a killing spree. Redemption is going to heal them back up, and EnVy needs to do something here. LirA are going to try and find a steal.
They put the ward over. He has vision now, and they'll go away.
Polo just needs to keep shooting. LirA tags him. Dignitas, they can't take too much damage.
Yeah, they're taking a lot of damage in the pit.
Oh,
LirA can't go.
Really good. Really good. LirA can't flash in.
That was super good. He can't flash. He can't ward hop. He can't take a Q. That was exactly what you need to stop the 50-50.
All right, well, Dignitas, a bit of a risky one, but they do take the Baron.
They're going to go down before
yeah,
the TP.
Not sure about this TP. He's going to get cancelled. Ssumday really wanted to save that turret, but no such luck.
Yeah. Interesting. Does get the cancel, so lower cooldown.
Alrighty, Dignitas with the Baron. Gonna walk it down mid. Mountain Drake number 2 up in just a minute. As Apollo gonna go back and invest in those next items. Lobdo already finished his 3rd. Phantom Dancer available.
Yeah, I like the attack speed as well, and it's the most attack speed you can get out of one of those items, one of the Zeal build items. So he's just doubling down on that passive. You get a kill, minion kill, get even more attack speed, so you just keep auto-attacking, and it looks like it's working out for him so far.
You can see Apollo can't build another crit item though. No rapid fire cannon, has to go Last Whisper. Should be building it next, but Dignitas gonna start doing real damage with his Baron. Chaser tags, but pretty tanky-ish for the Elise. There is no that much damage. He actually has a lot of armor built in. Oh, doesn't quite land. Ssumday gonna keep running for it. Ninja actually gets caught by the ultimate. Redemption going to heal him back up, though. Dignitas storming through EnVy's jungle.
Yeah, Mountain Drake up in 15 seconds, but they want to push down the bottom wave. Use some of this Baron time.
Oh, he got Lord, but LirA doesn't go all in for that one. LirA's crazy, man. If anyone was going to do it, thought it might be him. Ssumday's just zoning everybody out, though.
Yeah, he doesn't care. Cassiopeia, Keane will go solo the Drake. He already has the Mountain Drake to his name, so it's about 500 every time.
Yeah, you can see just healing up as well. From his ease, Poison helping out.
Fair and balanced.
I mean, Cassio's a good champion once you get going. Kane's certainly gotten going in this game.
Cassiopeia is super good. That's 2, though, so now they shred these turrets.
Ssumday is a good problem.
Yeah, this trap line is interesting. Ssumday can walk on it and absorb some. But then there's Chaser on the side, and they're just going to kind of just let this minion do its work.
I like that control ward as well, just above Lord, covering for the flank that LirA might try and go for. He's off to the side looking for it, but Dignitas just being patient here. Seraph trying to absorb some of the poke, but they need to kill this Baron cannon. Hakuho doesn't quite get the snipe down. Sapling, ooh, does get it down in time. No more impact damage, so have to wait for the explosion. Dignitas just gonna wait. 40 seconds left still for the Baron.
Woo. And the fact that the Ahri return Q does true damage hurts. He threw the Baron buff up, which is about 80% damage reduction, I believe, for the melee minions. So the wave clear quite good.
Nothing to worry about here for Dignitas. Big wave prep already for the top side, so EnVy probably going to have to give up this siege here. We're going to lose 1 turret, but I think they expected that. Doing a nice job trying to minimize their total losses, but now Ninja has to get pulled back. He'll defend this, and
all their waves are going to naturally push because of the mechanic where if you're up in levels, your minions are stronger. If you have more turrets, your minions are stronger. And since you can even just compare, like Ninja down level to Keane was down 2, Lod 2 up over Apollo, and then in the top lane it's 1 there as well. So overall, Dignitas just up. I would say like pretty close to a level, maybe 75%, but that's still enough because it just goes off of small things. It doesn't have to be like a full level up. It's percentages.
Well, EnVy still behind, but trying to defend. Dignitas haven't quite cracked the inhibitor turrets just yet, and the Baron buff did drop off. The next dragon will be Elder, so certainly something to worry about there, but Caitlyn's going to continue to get stronger. Ninja's building up to his next items, and Seraph will get very tanky as the game gets later. Sure, Ssumday's nice and tanky now, but no one really out-tanks Maokai in the late game.
Yeah, and now the Void Staff coming through for Keane, but it's going to be a while until Lod picks up a Last Whisper for himself. He does do a lot of magic damage with the Blight stacks, but that's few and far between. So him hitting Seraph isn't going to do that much damage. Something that he has to worry about a bit, whereas Keane will do a lot.
Well, EnVy, we'll see how well they can defend here. You can see Dig, not a bad Baron power play, but not a huge lead that they've built for themselves either.
Yeah, it just feels like EnVy when they aren't making proactive plays against Dignitas, and Dignitas has an opportunity to turn them around. It's definitely a slower game. You think about how even Lod got fed this game. It's a proactive play from EnVy that got turned around.
Dignitas kind of continuing to demonstrate how good they are reactively, but Keane has also had a good game here on the Cassio. He's 4 items in with 2 left to go. Don't need to buy boots on the old Cassio. So he again is going to make up for any sort of damage deficit that Dignitas might have been worried about. And again, I think Varus does more than enough damage here, especially with this type of build. So Dig, going to play it slow. Probably just going to wait for the next Baron here because sieging without it's a little tricky.
Yeah, they also have 2 Mountain Drakes, so if they get on the Baron, you have a very small window as EnVy to even contest it.
Ninja just guiding his way back. Going to collect all the CS there. And again, EnVy just have to wait. I think Apollo we really have to look to see when that next item's finishing. Now has that Phantom Dancer, so actually getting there as far as overall items go. Yes, Mercurial Scimitar is now completed for Lod, but it's kind of an interesting arms race between these characters because Apollo is still up in CS, and Total God looks good for Lod because of all the turrets that Dignitas have taken, but EnVy are not out of this game at all. Especially if Dignitas make a mistake setting up for this next objective.
Yeah, they do have some levels to work with on Dignitas' side. A lot of advantages across the board. And their carries are pretty fed too. When you look at where the gold went on EnVy, a lot of it went into the jungle for LirA. He picked up an advantage for himself, but their carries are all behind.
About to hit a real big point of contention. Baron up in 40 seconds. Elder Dragon will follow a minute after. Keane just went back for a shop, so yeah. He's got a needlessly large rod added in and 3 control wards just to make sure they're prepared for these next objectives.
That's crazy that he purchased 3 of them. On mid laner, normally your support will do that, or your jungler, but he's really contributing here, making sure that they can pick this up, because this is the make or break point in the game. If this Baron goes over to Dignitas, they'll pretty much have a very high chance of winning the game, whereas EnVy, if they get a steal, if they win a fight around this, that's the swinging point. It gets them right back in.
Yeah, and Apollo, I don't think it's going to get a time to go back, so EnVy going to have to fight with what they've got right now. Completely dark as LirA gets cocooned up. Charm under the Spiderling, though, isn't going to kill it.
Yeah, apparently Spiderlings don't want Fox Ladies because it didn't even affect them.
Seraph again, going to get some shields and run out with his ultimate on. Charm is going to miss onto Keane. Orb of Deception misses as well. Dig still have waves pressing the top and bottom lane, so again, just have to be patient here. You can already see EnVy blue pings onto some of these side lanes, starting to realize that we kind of need to do something sooner rather than later. Dignitas going to fall back to the Baron pit, take down the Scuttle Crab, and set themselves up for this objective. Dignitas again, there is no reason for them to rush here.
Yep. Blue trinkets for EnVy as well. They still have them up, so they can check.
Better check soon, because this Baron's going to go real quick.
That's more than 1,000 DPS.
It's dead. That teleport's not even going to complete. In fact, he's like 2 seconds late. Although the teleport's going to come in, they're going to try and start a fight. Chaser gets charmed up, but cleanses out from the Ahri. Seraph forced to flash away, hooked up by Ssumday on the front line, so his Apollo just needs to get the DPS down. Seraph finally going to fall, but his GA's going to pop. Keane gets kicked back in, but Keane with a huge 4-man ulti, going to turn the rest of the fight around. EnVy still fighting, but Apollo has gone down. Lod should be able to clean up the rest of this fight. That was a massacre between the two.
Yeah, 3 for 3.
Oh, great flash from Hakuho. LirA looking to tag Lod. Snare lands in onto Ssumday as Hakuho is going to save his teammates. 6 people died.
Yeah.
In like 30 seconds.
That was crazy. That looked like it was going to go over to EnVy for a bit there, but then the ultimate from Keane saves it. The Baron buff, they're going to start forcing their way down here. They have the damage. They have the tankiness.
Yep, they're going to break this. In fact, might even get a second with a huge wave top lane. Lod's going to work on this inhibitor. Plenty of Baron left to try and take it down. They're going to make it 2. Lod onto this turret. Respawn's not quite there just yet. In fact, it's 5 seconds for Apollo, so they might be able to get 2 here. Hakuho going to try and zone away Ssumday. Lod going to get chunked. LirA attacks Lod. Lands in, looks for it, kicks him down, but the inhib goes down. Ssumday might fall here as well, but he's got a lot of Baron creeps to help him out.
Yeah, but that's a Drake on the table now. The Elder Drake, or Elder Dragon, with Lod down. This may be an opportunity. EnVy can grab it to take another fight and win.
I've got to go so fast, though, because the minions will kill their base if they don't get it. But, I mean, this Baron just melted.
It's crazy. You don't expect Seraph to finish that. Ninja hits Chaser, but then backs off. And watch Keane here, because Keane playing off to the side, that's great. He's actually getting all that damage onto Seraph. Then he goes forward and gets a 3-man. LirA still turns there as well. LirA just on, I guess that one's probably on reaction there because he's expecting. The Cassiopeia flashes forward, ready to actually do that.
Uh-oh. EnVy, a little late to this strike. Lot up in 10 seconds. EnVy are just going to brute force it down. Both junglers have smite, so this could be a 50-50.
You got to keep Chaser out.
How does LirA have 2 levels on Chaser, by the way? Never mind. Smite much stronger. That's Elder Dragon over to EnVy.
Yeah, he's the one who got those early kills. So Chaser behind LirA in the driver's seat in terms of jungle, but it's just those solo laners. They haven't, we talked about at the very beginning, the leads that LirA gets early have not been transitioning to his laners. They don't end up picking up pressure, and the game just slowly collapses around them. But this Drake, this Dragon, it's just a single one. It's the 45 true damage burn, nothing more.
I mean, keeps it off the table from Dig. That's the important part. And EnVy do keep the game afloat for themselves here. I mean, Ardent Sense are now finished for Hakuho. He's got a redemption, got a QSS for Apollo. That was certainly would have helped in the last team fight. I mean, we're getting close to max builds for almost everyone here. Seraph got a little while to go, but other than that, things looking pretty full. And EnVy can certainly win a late game team fight with this Caitlyn.
Yeah, I'm waiting for Hakuho to have a locket, or for a locket to come through for EnVy, because it's just so much damage in these team fights that is not being absorbed.
It's on the way now, but Hakuho can only build so many items as a support. I assume that's what that Null Magic Mantle is going to turn into. Frozen Heart now for Seraph. He is really just looking to try and take out Lod here.
That's the goal. Stop Lod from making playoffs. Stop Lod from, once again, thriving.
Well, Dignitas just gonna, again, take their time with this last push. LirA, long distance for the flank.
Yeah, there's a lot of minions coming into the base, though. Super minions mid, super minions top. Dignitas, they really just want to... They want to end this, but it's an Elder Dragon. The Elder Dragon won't be on forever, though. Slow, pretty low duration on it. And so they're waiting that out as it's already past halfway done.
Yep, Dig have to be pretty patient with these waves, though, and they don't have Baron anymore. So they're going to have to do this the hard way and just wait out the super minions.
Yep. Gotta watch for Ninja's charm as well. And that trap wall, the trap house.
Yep. Top wave coming. Apollo knows he has to go over there. Actually, nets early just to meet the wave as soon as possible, but he's got to clear this real quickly.
Yeah, but they don't have a wave bottom for a long time. If you see the mini map, it's coming in. It'll be about maybe 7 more seconds here before it crashes.
Ssumday taking all the traps though, so that's nice. And Apollo going to run back, reset it again. LirA again popping out of the base gate, trying to find an angle on a flank.
Resetting all the traps.
All right, that super wave in top's looking a little scary now.
Yep. Gonna run back, and now, once again, a few more seconds if you look at the bottom.
Yep, these waves are aggressively desynced, actually.
Yeah.
So Envy kind of recognizing this, playing it smart. Dignitas might have to be a bit more proactive under this turret.
Yeah, Ssumday is just snatching up all those traps when there's no Caitlyn around to give those headshots. Now he has to pick all these up, kind of kite them over to the side too. But he does so much damage, you can see right there.
Yeah, Apollo is just melting through these super waves.
Oh, but they actually get some access to the turret with the wave there. They're letting the wave clear.
Lots for it, but yeah, now has to back away. That regen's going to take too long, I think.
And now it's back to clearing the wave top for Ninja.
And these inhibs are so close as well. Now they actually move Ninja. I actually like this a lot from Envy. I mean, Ninja's nowhere near as good at clearing these out. He's going to actually leave the Nexus turret to kill that super.
Yeah, clear the casters. They do the most damage. And then join back up.
And buy some more time. LirA finally looking for the play. Tags Chaser. Ssumday gets Ninja. Chain of Corruption's going to miss, but the Death Touch going to follow. Ssumday eating too much damage, forced to get Wild Growth. LirA. Oh, that was risky looking.
Yeah, but that buys them some time. Go back to clearing these waves, but here comes the next minion wave.
Apollo going to go back, but he doesn't want to. He needs to be there for the team.
Yeah. He's got to be here. He's got to stay here. One inhibitor did respawn, so there's no super minions in that wave either.
Second one going to join soon after it. Wasn't that long between, and this turret's still healthy. Dignitas back away.
Yep.
Envy, a successful defense there.
And now it's only a 4,000, almost 5,000 gold lead for Dignitas. But that's it. These 6 items coming through for Laud. You're not going to get much more powerful than Apollo. This will come down to those team fights. Baron up in 30 seconds. Inhibitors intact for Envy. Envy, they're looking to play upset.
Yeah, Apollo got 2,000 gold worth of farm in that defense as well.
He's almost 100 CS up. But they were...
hasn't spent it either. I mean, they know they have to defend for this Baron, but Envy are in a position to win a team fight and quite possibly win this game. Dignitas going to need to make sure this Baron take is nice and clean, but Scuttlecrab goes over to Envy. Baron is up. Envy are actually first to the area. Dignitas, I think, have bottom wave pressure, but they are taking their time, maybe too much time on this play. Envy are onto Baron now.
Yep. There goes the blue trinkets.
This is the critical team fight. What happens here? Envy, they pull away. Apollo is still trying to shoot down Ssumday. They need to threaten the Baron for as long as possible, but they can't take too much damage. Hook onto LirA. Ssumday kicked out. Keane actually going to get jumped on by Seraph. Ninja looking for the charm, but doesn't find them. Apollo still firing away. Ssumday trying to be disruptive as Seraph is taking a little too much damage. Redemption going to reset at Keane. Already blew the ultimate, but Apollo is still doing it. LirA off to the side trying to get a kill. Can't even angle down, but Apollo gets taken down. The main damage dealer falls. Ninja trying to kite out from under Xpecial. Chaser picks up the double kill in such a decisive team fight.
They're just so tanky. Ssumday stays alive the whole time. The shield's coming through. Everything.
Ninja's dead. Keane isn't going to go down. He actually does get the kill off the other end, but I don't think that's enough. It's just LirA and Hakuho to defend the base before.
Yeah, they have to do kind of damage control here, clear out the minion waves as much as they can, and this will be the thing. Do they walk behind and try to clear that minion wave? It's not that big.
They've spotted them. Yeah, they're going to try and pull the wave.
They're like, give me those minions.
Can they win a 2v3 here? Probably not. LirA's forced to
That's all he's trying to do. He's just trying to make sure they don't have minions to push into the base. Now they got to go mid. They got to clear that one.
Hakuho running back down. Going to hit the recall button, but inhibitors are going to go down here. They're going to, again, buy themselves some time. But we're in the same situation, kind of. Baron's up. Dignitas should be able to get it here. Yeah, and there's immediate pings. No need to not rush straight forward. So watch this fight again. This was so close.
Yeah, the kick through onto Keane. Seraph's like, that's time to go. But there's just so much shield. The Seraph's embrace comes through for Keane. The shield on top of it. Lot gets chunked, but he still can throw out damage. And then the really good redemption to reset the fight there for Dignitas. And that's it going down. And that's the TP from Seraph.
Seraph went in. They might actually be able to cut him off. Keane is very far away from his teammate. Who they get? They're going to look for Chaser. Ssumday gets LirA with the hook. Rogers going to keep fighting. Wild Growth is there. Seraph is taking up so much. Apollo finally going to arrive. LirA takes out Chaser, and now LirA's on to Lod. He needs to kill him, but Keane's here to try and turn it around, and Envy immediately back away.
Yeah, very risky from Envy. They actually took a 3v4. They didn't have Apollo or Ninja there. They're two main damage dealers, but they walk away with 1 kill on the Chaser and a little bit more time to breathe because that's 45 seconds. That Baron buff will not be pushing in their base for that long.
Cut down the waves, buy more time. That's all Envy can afford to do here.
Crazy TPs from Seraph so far this game. It's ones that you're like, all right, is he still going to take that? And he does. Ssumday barely has any mana. Can't really throw out much other than this, but you can see on the minimap, Apollo not there yet, but the nice kick through from Ssumday onto Chaser deals a lot of damage using the bonus HP of the Nautilus. And then they have to disengage as soon as they see Keane around that corner.
Ooh, again, Dignitas may be caught out here. Ssumday gonna be the target, but Apollo eating a Q there from Lod. Keane should have enough here. Seraph just not that tanky. Hakuho gonna eat the depth touch. LirA looking for the play, tries to kick Keane back, but doesn't land it. Ulti out from Keane is LirA. It's still fighting it out, but Apollo now snagged up. Keane already went down, but Apollo has to live. Ssumday goes down, but it's a shutdown for Hakuho. Apollo dies though.
Yeah, he gets killed by Krugs and Thornmail. He doesn't have enough lifesteal still. Even with Warlord's Bloodlust not being every hit, it takes him so long, but he goes down. And
Lod's still alive. Ninja needs to assassinate him, but Lod has Xpecial to protect him. These are such tough waves for Ninja and Hakuho to clean out. They have to try, though. Lod and Xpecial are just going to stick around. Chase is coming down as well.
Now put pressure on this base. Make sure that these minions will go all the way up to the turret, and they'll get some damage on it, too. What's the counter? They have to land a charm?
Yeah.
That's how you stop this, but just stay out of charm range.
Still think they can kill Lod. There's one Nexus turret down. They're going to work on the second. Ninja needs to make the play. Over Deception lands in, but Lod QSS is off. Cocoon's going to save it. Lod gets the last order onto Ninja. Nexus turret's going to fall, and Dignitas going to win a grueling 3-game series over Envy.
And they continue their streak. Dignitas now 7-2 in their last 9.
That was not nearly as easy as I think they thought it was going to be. Despite the advantage they built up, still a tough game through to win, but Dignitas shows some resilience, and Envy put their heart and soul into that game and still couldn't quite close out the series.
Yeah, and you can see very happy there for Dignitas that they walked away with that win. And I have to say, like, Jat's been talking about it as well when he interviewed Xpecial. Look, very happy. Xpecial's always a guy that I've known to be very hard on himself. Even when they won games, it was kind of, but I could have done better. And he was still down on himself. But this just seems like smiles as soon as that stressful game was over. He's up out of his chair, getting his teammates on their feet. And it seems like a different Dignitas.
Certainly does. And again, not the prettiest 3-game series, but a win nonetheless. They continue their streak for yet another series. But Envy made them work for it. And I mean, again, if Envy are looking to play themselves out of relegation, or even if they make it, they just play themselves into form, assuming they do have to play for their spot in the promotion tournament. These are the kind of games you want to see from them. Had a coherent plan, looking surprisingly good in the mid to late game. Like, sure, still not the cleanest team, but they are the last place team in the NALCS and showed a lot there in this series.
Yeah, and there's no like free wins. We've been talking about it where there's a lot of parity between these guys, and like I think Jat did something on the dive where it was standard deviations, and this is the split that's the second lowest in terms of standard deviations away from each other, where there isn't really too many teams that have run away with games in terms of like the standings, and these teams were still in striking distance of playoffs. Envy, of course, now playoff hopes, they are eliminated, they cannot get it, but they can still get out of relegation position.
Yep, they can get into the safety spot, and showing performances like this is good. They've taken a lot of games versus teams well high up in the standings, TSM being their most recent.
2-1, stuff like that, yeah.
And again, forcing teams to a third game is nice. Just you get to play more games. And I think every time we see them, They're not quite there for that second game win, but they're getting closer. Like, that series could have gone either way, even though Dig had a lead in game 3.
Yeah, for Envy, it's like finding consistency for Ninja and Seraph, but also being able to put it all together because they have those early leads, right? It's kind of like how Echo Fox was at the beginning of the split. Early leads, but what do you do with those leads? And they're just trying to find that out and have more dynamic shot calling because I'll talk about how, like, this should be the next step during the cast, but there are ways to throw people off because everybody knows in professional play what the next step is, and then they'll counter it, and then they'll move you around the map. But it's being able to realize in those moments what they think you're going to do and do something different and try something different because predictability is very deadly for teams.
And I feel like at least for Envy's sake here, they had a plan and they actually executed pretty well, like trying to do things. And even when they were stuck and the plan wasn't as obvious, yes, they made some mistakes. Game 1 kind of harken back there. You can definitely see that, not the cleanest play out of that Caitlyn advantage they had. But even in that last game, like, Seraph completing some aggressive TPs is at least a proactive play from them.
Yeah, and that's where it was like, oh, why aren't we seeing these when he was playing Shen? Why aren't we seeing these TPs to, like, pressure Ssumday to use his teleport, and then you can ulti and, like, match that as well? So there's these tiny things that they aren't abusing. Like, they weren't abusing their Caitlyn advantage. They weren't abusing the fact that they could push Victor out of mid lane and get themselves an advantage there and get that tier 1 turret really early on in game 2. So there's these things that they aren't being mean League of Legends players, right?
Yeah.
They aren't making it so that your options are just completely restricted. They're kind of like, oh, okay, we have an advantage here. Let's play it out until this point or that point. And the team fights, though, I do have to talk about those because they do not look good for Envy, and that's a communication issue. That's being on the same page, and that's easy to say, hard to actually do.
Yeah, and again, it's a process that takes time, but at least you can see the progress there for Envy. However, we are going to check in with the analyst to break down that series win by